Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is the Boom Bar right here on your Boom Radio NG. And I bid you one more welcome to the bar today. Today promises to be a very, very interesting one, as we're going to be talking about quite a number of things at the bar today. We're going to talk about the vice president at the United Nations General Assembly. A lot of people have had a lot of heads of state, would I say, would have had a lot of things to say at the General Assembly. We're going to be talking about that. There's news coming from the federal government themselves, a lot coming from the federal government. Shout out to the people of Ibadan. They're really gearing up for the coronation of the new Olubadan, and coincidentally the Olubadan is 81 today, so we're going to be talking about that. And Lagos State, there was building collapse. They're also demolishing some buildings as well in the state. A lot of people have had quite a number of things to say, especially with the flooding going on. And on another episode of Have Sense or You Eat Government Beans, we will talk about that also today. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show with us today. I'm on the program today with Sola Rogers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the bar.
Okay, so we're going straight into the gist for today. Like I had said earlier, there are quite a number of things that we're going to be talking about today. First things first, the vice president, we know, represented the president at the United Nations General Assembly, which is still ongoing. There are quite a number of things, and he officially gave President Tinubu's speech yesterday, and they were quite, I actually did watch the most part of that speech, and he had about 4 things to talk about. First thing was the fact that he was really advocating for a permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council seat. And the truth is, and one of the things that he was actually talking about was the fact that and I think that I had heard quite a number of other African countries. Apparently, Africa does not even have a permanent seat on that Security Council. Talk less of what he is now going further to say that Nigeria, being the most populous black nation and all that, actually not just about just Africa, but Nigeria as a whole deserves a permanent seat. And I think that conversation has been going on for a while now. A lot of African leaders are saying you can't determine seats, have conversations about things that are happening about us, and we're not in that conversation. And it makes a whole lot of sense. He also talked about a lot of debt relief for African nations, which sadly I would say a lot of media houses have seemed to have turned it upside down. But at this point, I think there's really nothing anybody can do. Or would I say that people just choose to ignore? Maybe just take things out of context. But the vice president had quite a number of things to talk about at the UN General Assembly, and it makes sense. Actually, it was a very interesting watch.
Yeah, talking about the Security Council seat, it's something that I've heard about I don't want to exaggerate, for over 30 years now, that Africa and Nigeria has been clamoring for a seat at the table. Let me not say maybe like 20 years or thereabout, but I know I've been hearing about it for a long time. It's become normal to hear Nigeria or Africa agitate for a seat at the table. Apparently, it's something that is important. But to me, I don't know. After all these years of seeing them beg to be allowed to be a part of these permanent members of the Security Council, I start to think like, so far so good, right? We could survive this far without it. Except maybe it has some economic benefits here that maybe I cannot grasp at the moment. So I'm not going to knock the idea. But, I'm impressed with the boldness and the strength of the message that Nigeria,
put out.
Took to hunger. And a lot of things have been said, but the most important thing for me is how Africa by ourselves also needs to sit down beyond all this China Africa conference, Russia Africa conference, Japan
It's time
Africa
to do things
conference.
by
It's
ourselves.
time. You know, you have
I
your
get your point.
what's this union again? African
African
Union.
Union.
Did you know that the AU started before the EU?
Yeah, I heard.
Okay, so what exactly are we doing? We have the resources, we have the manpower. It's time for Africa to also look inwards. Pay your debts. Pay your debts. You borrowed money, pay your debts. Especially when some of these countries had borrowed monies and they didn't use the funds for what they were supposed to use it for.
Yeah.
You know, so look, it might take a while, but there's a good example in when you restructure, which Nigeria has done, that the results will come. Africa has the land mass. You know, one of the funniest things that I've always heard about Africa is Africa's size. They always tell you that Africa is small, but you know, a lot of people, experts, when it comes to the size of Africa, tell you that Africa is actually the biggest continent. Have you heard that more than once? You get
been conversations around that.
So you have the physical size, you have the numbers, you have the resources. Africa, what is your problem?
Anyway, we definitely will see where all this conversation is going to. Left to me, Sha. Half of this conversation is just gist.
You know, but since you are the United Nations, I don't know if this is on your list, but President Donald Trump had a few things to say about the UN. But the latest news is how the escalator stopped working just when himself and his wife, the first lady, got on it. And they now had to actually climb the stairs, like, because the escalator stopped working. So his office is alleging sabotage by the UN because they had issues with the sound. The escalator stopped. Three things. He said there are three things that they've done to sabotage.
Literally, it's the US that is hosting the world at this point. So
well,
really,
yeah. So I'm just like, oh wow. Why would they want to stop the escalator?
Uncle's always that's his business.
You know, and during the same hunger, French President Macron's
his convoy was actually stopped because of the same daddy. See, however, am I the only one that feels that maybe United Nations should find another acronym?
Is it only? What about a new location? You know, what about maybe creating a man-made island somewhere so nobody is stopping anybody's convoy? You know, so it becomes like a free world. You know, a real
United Nations nation.
Yeah.
Anyway, now let's come back to Nigeria, where first the federal government has announced a nationwide enforcement of the national policy for the Nigeria Education Repository and Data Bank concerning academic credential verification. So what they're saying is that all ministries, departments, and agencies, basically if you're a civil servant, they're saying from October 6th, there's going to be a structured verification process of all your academic credentials. Simple.
Yeah,
There's
it
no
looks
need
like
for story.
It looks like they're really like trying to reorganize the workforce, you know, the system that they met on ground. Looks like they're trying to reorganize it. And of course, it's Operation Show Your Papers now, which is a good thing. And of course, ideally, everybody should have their papers.
Yeah, if you don't have any thing that you're hiding, and if you do things by the book.
Yeah.
So it just makes all the sense in the world.
And maybe the allegations of ghost workers can also be pegged with this, because the ghost workers will not be around to show their papers. Except they come in before October 6th.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, there were stories of how the last verification under Buhari's government.
I heard there was
allegations of people flying into Nigeria.
You fly into Nigeria because you have to go through that and spend so much money just to cover up your misdeeds. Good luck to you. We'll get to that actually. You know, we're talking about that. You know that Katsina State, during their verification, I think they had to sack about over 4,000. I think it's on our stories somewhere, since we're on that matter. About 3,488 staff.
How can they sack people that are not working for them?
They shall pay them,
How can they sack people that don't exist?
Pay them.
know,
there's quite a number of.
There are 36 states in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I know some of them have done this, but it should actually be mandatory.
True.
That you do the staff audits and check your workforce.
Yeah. From time to time,
it's a major drain on the pocket, because a lot of these governors, for political will, cannot reduce their workforce. They cannot, because any governor that tries itself might lose the next election. You get, there's too much political gaming going on. But if you're able to free up funds, maybe you actually cannot employ the real people. Because you're already paying that much anyway.
Exactly.
Picture Katsina now employing 3,000 people.
Exactly. So what? Apparently they had a biometric screening exercise across all local governments, and just local government staff. They after screening about 50,000. 3,488 were removed, saying that some have fake credentials, some were ghost workers. There's absenteeism, so if you no go to work, you all know. And people that declined to appear. Why did you decline to appear if you don't have skeleton in your cupboard? So anyway, they've officially flushed out about almost 3,500 staff.
Have you ever thought of the possibility of some people working for federal and state government at the same time? It just crossed my mind.
It's going to be really difficult.
How?
Especially if you work in the same state.
In Nigeria?
That's why I said maybe if you work in the same state.
The absenteeism that they are talking about from verification, are you sure the guy is not at work in Abuja or something, or Lagos?
That's mad.
It's funny the things that people get up to, and they're normal. Those things are seen as normal, and it's fraud. It's big time fraud.
They're saying that this is the first time that they ever had a first ever unified digital database for local governments and LEA staff. And they're saying that with this, they're looking at a projected 453.3 million naira monthly savings. Almost 500 million.
Can all the Nigerian universities do the same thing at the same time?
Universities.
I want to see something.
We're not talking about universities here.
I'm suggesting. Shebi, we're at the bar. This digital
local government that we're talking about.
Digital staff verification. Can all the Nigerian universities do it at the same time? I want to see something. I want to check something out.
Anyway, still talking about fraud and still talking about education.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's very interesting. But again, you remember, I think it was last week we had a conversation about the Ministry of Interior, and you wonder like, this used to be a ministry as well, eh? Another ministry that seems to have just been there forever, then all of a sudden they seem to have woken up, is the Ministry of Education. Now the Ministry of Education is now announcing, because some of you people are fraudulent. They have to come and announce again that technical college tuition is completely free. Apparently, there's some of these schools and some of the officials of this school that are now asking people for hidden charges and illegal fees.
Dolupo.
Why are you people like this?
Dolupo, you need to expand it.
Oh my God.
Let's break it down. The federal government of Nigeria has made technical education free. Now, it's not just tuition, no.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to be paying them. They're even supposed to pay them a stipend or something.
Everything, like if your e-governance, your website access, everything is free. The only thing that they're telling you to bring is in fact, uniform is free.
Yeah, you even get paid.
You get paid. The only thing they're asking is to bring yourself fully clothed. You understand? So that when you get to hostel or whatever, you can dress up. This is unprecedented in the history of Nigeria. We are lagging behind when it comes to technical know-how in certain aspects of Nigeria's workforce. And the technical schools are the best places to get these people skilled up. And now government is saying, come through for free.
For free.
And we will even give you stipends.
According to them, according to the federal government, the Minister of Education, they're saying boarding, uniforms, textbooks, exercise books, prospectuses,
free.
ID cards, stationery, clubs and society fees, medical services, vocational training, utilities,
websites,
security,
results,
extra lessons, insurance.
Free.
Everything is free.
Free.
And then they're still alleging that it looks like principals and all that are asking. Now they're putting out numbers out and saying,
you need to call that number.
And they're saying that people that, if they are asked to pay anything, you're supposed to report to 08036576733, 08036576733, or 00363733796, 00363733796, or send an email to tse@education.gov.ng.
By now, this aspect of giving them numbers in case somebody's being fraudulent in this sector should be a standard for all ministries.
Yeah.
Ask me why.
Because Nigerians are fraudulent.
About 2 years ago, when the Ministry of Interior started, rejigging things, that the minister Olubunmi Tujojo, he actually got to a point where the passport offices were still putting roadblocks in people's ways.
Yeah.
And they dropped that number, and people were calling that number, and things changed. Let it be standard that whistleblowers and feedback channels are now available.
It's for every single agency.
To even make it better, they need to look for a toll-free line that allows maybe the indigent to make these calls to say, look, in one school in Abeokuta, a federal technical school, this is what they are asking us for. Do you get? And it will work. It will work. So feedback channels and these lines for whistleblowing should be allowed, because just picture how many people you can change their lives if they avail themselves of this opportunity that the government has put out to learn, new skills at the federal technical colleges for free. It's a big deal. And before you move away, because you two they move.
Yes, now because we have time.
Na Isabi. Mr. President Tinubu, why did you put this Professor Alausa in another ministry before?
But the man is a medical doctor. He was the minister. Of State for Health. So it wasn't a bad idea.
It wasn't a bad idea.
And the one that President Tinubu sacked is a professor, and he was the vice chancellor of a university.
And he did better than what this man has done.
No. I'm just saying that I'm not sure that you would fault that appointment as being a VC of a school.
Excuse
then you become
now.
So no,
you even listen
it's
to what you're saying.
No, I'm not saying. What I'm saying is that person's competence or lack of competence is on him.
I'm not talking about that person. I am talking about the president and this person.
That's what I'm saying. Like the person's.
This man.
You can't blame the president for his incompetence.
I can.
Because if on paper it looked like
fact,
it was really
you
qualified.
taking this stance makes me now come out frontally. Mr. President, you got it wrong by putting this man in the former ministry you put him. Because look at what he has achieved since you moved him to this particular ministry. He has basically changed. The Ministry of Education was nowhere. Nobody they hear anything where they happened there. Everybody was just focusing on 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. This guy, this education man, this man is amazing. So, sir, you got it wrong again by putting him in a different ministry. I maintain my stance, and there are facts out there to prove it.
Okay. I don't think so, Sha. I think
your opinion. We are both sharing opinions. Mine is based on facts.
Probably had
yours
to
is based on
okay,
sentiment.
maybe this guy is my actually just working.
What were his achievements when he was Minister of Health?
Because he's Minister of State.
Exactly my point. You are telling me that you have a top striker and you put him in the junior team. Then you now find a need and you know, oh, this guy is actually that good, though. You now put him in the senior team and he's banging in goals, and you're telling me that putting him in the junior thing was right?
He probably did.
Man, this Mr. Tinubu knows that he's also not perfect, though. So we cannot be cutting him slack. On this one, it is a plus that within his government, he found someone to move the Ministry of Education forward. But to say that he didn't get it wrong by putting someone there
that was actually an education,
and the person did not deliver at Dolupo. In fact, the man was not asked to go to another ministry. He was removed completely. Do you know what that tells you? The man
that the president felt that he made a mistake and rectified it.
Exactly. So why are you defending that? They put John Owan Eno in sports. At some point, they looked at it and said, you know what? Let's change this sports structure completely. We don't even need the Minister of Sports anymore. It's a sports commission structure that we're going to. They did not sack John Eno. They moved him to another ministry. They moved him somewhere else. But the man that was in education was sacked. Him and that other woman that was always in the news for the wrong reasons and all they were sacked.
Oh my God.
So if you look at the parameter that, okay, they must have been sacked because they didn't deliver. Why are we sugarcoating? There's no need to sugarcoat. If these ministries work, it is for the president's glory and it is for Nigeria's betterment that we now have people. Look, the Olubumitu Jojo guy keeps making, it just blows my mind, and I'm not the only one whose mind is blown. The things that Keyamo is achieving is Keyamo an aviation person? Is he not a lawyer? Did he even do aviation law? No. Did he do it? The man was a lawyer. He was an activist, then became, a politician. But look at the things that is done. Nigeria is going to get the first, dry lease or whatever that they had not gotten in decades, which means that very soon now Nigerian airlines can get leases on brand new planes instead of paying so much to buy them. So planes will land in Nigeria cheaper now, which obviously has to trickle down to the cost of air flight. So please, when we're saying these things, there's no sentiments, there's no sugarcoating. When there's at times we're chill, but this man is doing amazing things in the Ministry of Education. That's what I'm saying. And all the while you went to hide him in one Minister of State, Keneko, thinking that what were you doing, sir?
Anyway,
please don't be doing that again, Mr. President. Don't do it again.
You should not do
when you are giving us people that know what, give us people like this, Mr. Alausa. The man sabi wetin they do.
Okay. So the president, you
have been warned.
You have been warned.
Yes.
That's all.
And now this girl vexed me, sef.
Okay. Can I move on something else now?
Move.
Okay.
Move your move.
Now, the Central Bank of Nigeria has now warned that naira abuse inflates printing cost.
We have heard. Next.
Wait, now be coming down. So, where I have an issue with this issue is, yes, naira abuse probably spoils the naira, so they have to reprint it because it probably. But my question is, how does it increase the printing costs?
There are CBN. I even want to ask you a better question. Speaking of naira abuse,
you might say that you need to replace more than because it spoils it, but
okay.
I don't
CBN.
Okay.
Speaking of naira abuse, the people selling that crisp notes. At times, when you see the crisp notes, the wrapper on it is white. It doesn't even have bank wrappers. I remember back in the day when you take money to a bank, in your presence, especially when they tell you to take the money to the bulk room. In your presence, they are changing the wrappers. If you brought it from XYZ bank and you're taking it to their own bank wrapper and stamping it, you get. And it's always color coded. You get. But you see the one we get white. Where did they see
it coming from? Yeah.
Where did they see that crisp notes? Where did they abuse? Because selling the naira already is naira abuse. Yep. Those people where they sell that money, where they did for Iwo Road Junction. That they did for party.
Every party, you see it. It's steady.
Where did they see the money? CBN, I know they play to gallery now. You'll be telling Nigerians something costs something to print and kiniko. But you, within your system, must explain to us why I cannot go to the bank now and withdraw any amount of cash and get crisp notes.
Where do you want to see?
But you see those guys, where they get that wrapper, we get white. Where they get brand new money, we get white wrapper. They always have clean money. Why?
Yeah, that's the only place
Why?
these days. That's the only place you
Dear
ever see
CBN,
new notes.
You too see that you must respond to this. You be picking on the wrong people, be telling people they should not damage the naira. So, that one where those people they sell that new note, where did they see them? Where did they see them?
Lord.
Where are they seeing
Anyway,
it?
just wanted to put this out there. The Inspector General of Police has disbursed about 2.2 billion naira to deceased families of deceased police officers' families. I'm so sorry for that. Also, the Nigerian Customs and
Clean your
launching
glasses.
clearance system to ease port congestion. Also, China is set to build Africa's first insulin plant in Nigeria. So, what the concept is that now this is going to be produced in Nigeria, and which most likely bring down the cost of instead of importation of insulin. And people, if you do not know, insulin is basically used in for people that are suffering from diabetes.
Let's really talk about that for a minute. Yeah, I was watching a video, and I think it was an interview on Channels TV, and an expert in the pharmaceutical world was talking about how I think it's about 60% of Nigeria's medicine needs now are being produced locally. That they are working in tandem with the government. You get what that means is that you start to check why the naira is gaining and the dollar is falling in Nigeria.
It's
fewer demand for imported goods, because every time they talk importation, people look at their own immediate needs. Shoes, bags, hair. We import a lot of hair actually, alcohol, perfumes, and all of that. But the life-saving items like pharmaceuticals and everything, the volume of production has gone up a lot. And if insulin is now being made locally again, that adds to the projections that in a few years' time we'll be doing 90 to 80% locally, manufactured pharmaceuticals and medicine, and which also means that we can export to other countries. Like Dangote is exporting petrol to the USA and Europe, earning forex rather than needing forex to bring. Oh my God. Nigeria is going to get better.
It looks like it's going to be a good thing. Now, moving on from that, and which of the gist should I start first? I have gist. Okay, let me start from the gist of on today's episode of Have Sense or Get Arrested. You might be wondering what that is. So, one of the popular P Square musicians, brothers, decided to put out a post of someone that had talked about him or posted. And my issue with a lot of people is that it's the confirmation, the way you talk and you talk at this point, maybe lies. And it's the confidence that comes with the rubbish that you put to talk about people online is what for me. So now, let me read something as someone had posted. So a particular lady had said, I don't know what the origin of the post, as she said, didn't he also cheat on his wife with their housemate? Question. Another lady now replies, very categorically, raped / coerced their domestic help. She's the help. How could she say no? Plus, she was most likely way younger. What the hell? Another person replies. Then this other lady now said, when he was found out, he sent his wife and sister-in-law at the time out of the house. Very yama N-word. Now, again I say, it is the confidence that comes with the certainty that comes with whatever it is with those kind of allegations. This person now, the person that they were referring to, which is Rudeboy P Square, now says, oh, I hardly reply, but you see this one, now asks this person as Chubby Diva If you like, go private, leave X. I will find you. I'll use every means necessary, power, resources, and money. You face the law. I will use you to set an example. Your only way out is to leave the surface of the earth and relocate to space. To everyone that brought my attention to a tweet, thank you. Now, you know why I was happy with this tweet? Maybe it's time. People need to be taught lessons for maybe the larger population to have sense. I do not, like I said again, why is the confidence in the tweets for me? Were you in the house? Did they, even if somebody even gave you gist, you know there are some gist that you know that gist is true, but it doesn't even mean that you have to put it out on social media. At the last point, someone had said that this particular lady has deactivated her account. Whether you deactivate your account, I honestly pray with all my heart that you are arrested, and you are not only arrested, you are jailed.
So the handle that Dolupo was referenced is at Chubby Diva, spelled as CHUBBIEDIVAH. She was responding to one dark-skinned Tammy. Now, this dark-skinned Tammy has not deactivated her own account. She started the whole thing, right?
The only thing that can help her is because she was asking a question.
No, she's not. Because look at the next comment that she made. There's another comment that made. Like, there's several things that she said on that thread. But bottom line is that this same dark-skinned Tammy is involved in another funny scandal and all. So you go check them out, and they are feminists. There's a discussion that's been going on.
Is that how to be a feminist?
Yeah, to them. And she's even talking about how they need a fund, that they need to start raising funds so that they can fight these court cases and all of that. That's what this Tammy person is saying. Maybe you should shut
your mouth and
but
not...
There's something
you don't have a case?
That this is linked to. There's a particular Vini lady who is advising women to falsely accuse men of rape to deal with them. And she's been called out for days. She locks up her account, then changes the handle. And of course, people have gone to the new one. In fact, they're going to check her LinkedIn, their Instagram, Threads, or whatever, because she's trying to hide away. You are advising women to falsely accuse men of rape. Hardly would you find a man that goes through that comes out clean, even if he didn't do it.
Oh yeah.
You know, it happens at times. Some men will maybe come with receipts and counter receipts and all of that. But at the back of a lot of people's mind, they'll still look on you.
Oh yeah.
As someone that was alleged to have done something. And she's made it a campaign.
Yeah.
So even women, now it's beyond gender now, because even women are now calling her out and fighting her.
And I honestly think
that's what these ones are latching onto. And it's obvious that they all don't have sense. Like,
you will go to
they're
jail.
all brainless people.
You will go to jail.
They make these accusations. And they can't prove it.
You know the sad part is such hefty allegations. In that tweet that you made, you talked about his infidelity. You talked about his
statutory
rape. Okay. Oh, sorry. I don't. What did as your series being? Sorry, I did do that.
You know,
I don't know what that happened.
You talked about statutory rape.
Statutory rape.
You talked about coercion. You talked about
children.
A whole lot of things.
These people have children online that, you understand, that will see these things, and I feel that it makes sense for if you are accused of something like this, because going forward, nothing leaves the internet. If he doesn't fight it, we've seen how these allegations have scattered people's. A footballer was just finally released after almost 2 years, if not more than 2 years in jail.
That's Alves.
Yeah.
He lost everything.
And he's lost everything because...
And the sad part is his accuser is anonymous.
You know the worst part? And I will still...
You don't even understand. There's every possibility that he had never even seen that person before in his entire life.
In his entire life. Again, I will say, I know that maybe it's not just a Nigerian thing. Maybe Nigeria can start it. It's time that even the the National Assembly, states needs to start looking at. As much as we talk about laws against rape and statutory rape, it's time we start making laws. Now that we have laws against people lying against people on social media, Cybercrime Act and all that, we should have laws against people that falsely accuse people.
It actually does exist. There are laws already, Dolu. Maybe they just need to be upgraded.
Maybe they need to be up. Maybe it's time people also need to start suing people.
Counter sue.
You need to counter sue for these things because it's ridiculous. You cannot. And number one, two things I would say. Number one, because we think that they think that they're just behind a phone and they can tweet anything, and that's number one. Number two, it's mostly common, is very, very common with girls. Because let's call it spade a spade. A lot of girls feel that, because you are a girl, you tend to get away with a lot of things. And let's be honest, and that's the truth. In our society, women, the female gender gets away with a lot of things the male gender cannot. And because of that, you think that you can say and do things just because. No, you will go to jail.
I always reference a young man on Twitter that actually took his own life. We all know that story, very popular story, because he was falsely accused of something that he didn't do.
Like, how do you people sleep at night?
And he didn't even have the resilience to fight it.
How
like
do
some
you
people
sleep
did.
at night? You don't know. You probably even never met this person. You never met his wife or his children, or you don't even know anything. But you go online and you write lies about people, and you feel that maybe because they are celebrities, they'll just ignore. No, this time people need to go to jail.
Again, at this point, I like the stance that Rudeboy P Square has taken, but it must just do it within the confines of the law, so that it doesn't leave any loophole for these people to escape. You get? It has to do everything within the confines of the law, which means his lawyers know what to do. They know the kind of petition to write. They know whom to address it to, and already it looks like some people are helping them track down this.
And if
people.
it looks like you are trying to run, you will be arrested, and you will not be granted bail because you don't have sense. When people that don't have sense, they point it out to them that they don't have sense.
You remember the case of the Apple store in Lekki? And then Benga Samuel Wemimo, our own Benga Samuel Wemimo. And he tweeted yesterday.
Oh, I didn't see that.
An update on that case that the man has been arrested.
Oh, the owner of the store.
Yeah.
Very good.
And the person is saying he didn't write those things. It was his lawyers that wrote it, and is appealing to the GSW, to Benga Samuel Wemimo, and that even the police were appealing on his behalf.
No.
But this is our own advice. Just like many people in the comment section were telling him, you have to go to court.
Yep.
Because in your original post, you didn't even mention the shop, the so-called Apple shop.
Then you decided
you didn't even mention their name.
Reach out to someone that
they went overboard.
Then you're now accusing him of things. Oh no.
Basically trying to tarnish his image and all.
Yeah, you don't have sense.
So
you'll be taught sense.
The courts
by
are
force.
there for us, please.
Yes, you will be taught sense by force. Thank you very much.
And Nigerian lawyers, a few of them were called to bar yesterday. They need jobs.
Yes, they are a new set of lawyers.
So please avail yourself
Thank you very,
of
very
this
much.
opportunity.
Thanks very much.
Don't take the law into your hands.
No, just don't need.
Call a lawyer.
Now, moving on from that, the Federal Bureau of Investigation has announced a $10,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of a Nigerian. You people be steady embarrassing somebody. The person by the name Olumide Adebiyi Adediran wanted the United States for multiple fraud offenses.
The guy has several names.
Apparently, it's supposed to be a 56-year-old, goes by Kevin Olumide Adediran, Eric O. Williams, Maxo Alexander, Olumide Atkins, Edward N. Anderson.
And what again? Rip Van Winkle.
God. Y'all are just stressing me out.
The funny thing is how he's been able to evade arrest for at least 2 decades.
Please, I hope that
isn't that strange?
You know the funny thing? I know I'm not supposed to say this, but I won't be surprised if the person is in this Nigeria.
It's possible.
I will not be surprised. Two reasons. One is that, and I'm not even talking about maybe the Nigerian government. I would say even because you're saying this person perpetrated all this in the US. So how was he able to slip out of the US?
Oh, yeah, slipped. Leave that one.
But
That ship has sailed. Because the man has been on the run for over about
But
2 decades.
y'all are just stressing me out. Why can't you just have sense? Again, have sense. But no. You
And
just
the bounty on his head,
it's not even plenty.
it's not much now. You are looking for someone for 2 decades. Put big money. You see how they will fish him out.
Fish him out. They will fear
Oh my
him.
God.
They will fish him out now.
It's the person that chop B that we cook B.
Yes, nah. Simple. End of story. Anyway, quickly moving on from that, let's stay in Lagos as 6 people have been rescued after a 2-story building collapsed in Lagos today. I think there was I can't remember where exactly the place is. I think it was somewhere in Alimosho area of Lagos State. I don't think anybody died from there. Yes, Modukwe or Last Street, Mangoro, at Alimosho local government area of it's Lagos. Now, also with the amount of flooding that is happening and the volume of water, I also think that a lot of buildings that their integrity is not great. Water is one of the issues. So, please, once you start seeing some things, it's time to just...
You see, the truth about this is that you don't know if you're even a potential victim or not. I pray not, because only if building construction had proper standards and the monitoring agencies were on top of their game, they had the capacity. They don't. Lagos is small in size, but massive in numbers. And it's really sad and scary that you don't know. You get some people will go out of their way to adhere to the highest standards of construction, but a lot of people cut corners and people don't know. So again, it's just that if you see something, say something.
Also, now on that note, the Lagos State government today began demolition of unsafe and illegal buildings at the Trade Fair complex in Ojo area of Lagos State.
Yeah, and the talks of buildings being demolished in the market, the Trade Fair complex, and all of that. And I've been mulling an idea over and over again, and I think it's about time they did it. Why do we still have markets that look the way they do? You understand? Look at the Lagos State hub in Mushin and how they are building a few of those food hubs you get. Look at Tejo and how it was upgraded. You understand?
Like, why can't we
just basically go all out and do a massive overhaul of those markets, so that now they have fire stations, they have clinics, they have crèches. Why can't we continue move away from all these umbrellas and all these shacks and shanties and everything and buildings that don't have integrity? I think it's high time they just did like a massive overhaul of markets. It can be phased, but it's highly required. Yeah,
I get your point though. But
multi-level parking, everything.
It's highly required.
It even eases traffic off the road, because most of the markets in Lagos and in many parts of Nigeria
on the road.
So people even park on the road, and the market now spills onto the road.
It is crazy. Anyway, moving on quickly. Former French President Sarkozy has now been sentenced to 5 years in prison.
This case has been going for a while.
Yeah.
About twice now he has escaped going to jail. He's 70 years old or thereabout, you get. And he's said to have been culpable in some fraud, getting money from, Libya or something, that they probably funded his campaign and all of that. And from the look of things, if he eventually makes it to jail, he'll be the first leader of France in modern times that was sent to prison. But at 70, man, it's strange how the mighty are falling. Again, if you go out of your way to get certain things, just hope and pray that they don't come back to bite you in the behind.
Exactly. Now let's do a little bit of sports before we get out of the studio. So Nigerian boxer Ife Jaguar has officially now broken into the world's top 10 heavyweight.
Ife, I know say one day you go make us proud. That guy has all it takes to be a world champion in the heavyweight category. You know, from the way he fought as an amateur, people said he was angry because there was a time when he just went in 90 seconds and said, "You're done." There's this other professional fight that he had with someone that was not supposed to fight, but the person he was supposed to fight pulled out, so he now fought a new guy. And the way he did, the guy saw him and turned back.
Okay,
and
yeah,
left.
I remember that one. Like
the guy left. He left.
I'm
So
not
that's Ife
interested.
Jaguar for you. Eventually, he dropped the fight. It was very painful for me personally, but it was part of his growth. And from the look of things now, being in the top 10 makes him a contender.
Yeah, it's
And you know,
beautiful.
there's Utama, who is also Nigerian. Somehow he's Nigerian, so we might just be seeing a Nigerian world champion.
Champion again, after all. Now, moving on from that, the new club that Mr. Victor Boniface is in now, there's now been talks of the fact that they have reservations with his social media posts. So everybody that knows Victor Boniface knows he's very, very active on social media. And the truth is, he's not the only like footballer or that is active on social media, but he's really controversial. He does a lot of very funny things on social media.
I think
Some people like it, some people don't.
I think he's extremely playful, and he's one of those banter lords. Like you cannot out banter him. He stands his ground. He can't be bullied on social media. A whole lot of stuff, but at some point, he's going to have to learn how to strike a balance between being a professional footballer and how you are perceived and being a social media kingpin. He has to strike a balance. I'm not going to ask him to leave social media.
No, but at least the people that are paying your bills don't like some of the posts.
That's why, someone like Alex Ferguson refused to let his team set up social media. He just didn't like it.
Yeah, because the truth is, even the way more popular ones, when you see a lot of their social media, you know that especially footballers, is very managed.
Yeah, they have handlers and all of that.
Yeah, and I even take, for example, I think, was it online? No, there's a particular, no, I think it was Alexi Wobi that had posted that, so normally I think he does a lot of videos with their, with their training and the what's that place called where they change
dressing room,
their dressing room. So I think he had to put out a post. Was it him or line or one of them that the club had said that that they can't be putting those posts out anymore and all, because at the end of the day they are the ones paying your salary, and they say they don't want it.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Also, Arsenal's William Saliba has now agreed a 5-year extension deal to 2030. And I think this was why this is a lot of conversation, is because it's brought up a lot of people thought, he's not signing a new deal. By next year, his deal is supposed to end. And Real Madrid were really, really going.
I'm just shaking my head. It just shows you how solid Arsenal is. The fact that they can lock Saliba down, it's a big deal. This Arsenal, there's nobody coming close to them this season. None.
So it looks like Real Madrid, sorry, at this moment. We saw quite a number of games yesterday. I was at the bar that we talked about it. Over the past few days, there was a lot of EFL games. Yesterday, funny enough, I would say that it was there was really almost nothing to talk about at that point, because you kind of knew that, okay, these games were going to be maybe not so easy, but it's just something that you were going to call from Manchester City to Newcastle to Tottenham to Arsenal. It was, at least, there would not be
Greenspeed.
Oh God, I really was not looking forward to saying that, but some of these things happened. We saw the day before Brighton defeating Barnsley 6-0. Cardiff beating Burnley, which is funny, but anyway, not so funny though. Fulham actually defeated Cambridge. Chelsea defeated Lincoln City. Wolves won their first game. That very interesting. Liverpool winning Southampton, and the drama of Mr. Ekitike and his red card and all that. But anyway, now there's Europa on Friday.
Yeah.
There's Europa on Friday.
Yeah, it started yesterday. You know, they're going to
Yeah.
play Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And
And
they're
like,
still expected to
why are
play
we
at the
doing this?
weekend
Why are
or
we? Why?
Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, like, where did we become this?
Well, that's it. The players are being overused, overstretched, and it's all about the
Yeah,
money.
and
at the
I
end
think
of the
another
day.
player now has now, a Liverpool player has now also caught an ACL again.
What
And
do you
it's-
expect,
And it's a
man?
lot of conversation now.
It's
Like,
a long season.
it's going to be a long season, and they just started. It's interesting, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway, on that note, that is all we have to take today on the bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. On the same bar tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time. What are you doing? What are you doing with your hand?
Can you keep signing out?
Okay. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Like, share, subscribe. Put out a comment. It's Boom Radio NG on all social media platforms. And BoomRadioNG.com is not going anywhere. It's just a boom bar that is pausing for now. And we're back tomorrow. Have a beautiful, beautiful day ahead.
Peace.